everybody. Welcome to the Equity.Guru Investor Roundtable. We're talking about gold. Look at the man above me sitting in his gold vault. That's Vishal. Galen in the basement with me, slumming as usual, and Fabi in the far corner. We're talking about gold because we're talking about Falcon Gold, which is FG, oddly enough, on the Venture Exchange in Canada. They're based in Vancouver. It's our pal Kareem Riani. They do have a client relationship with the old Equity Guru. And it's a hell of an interesting business. And they've actually been kind of hanging on. The stock through the resource weirdness has been trending around and ranging around and all that good stuff, right, Michelle?
For sure, Rob. Yeah. Company we've talked about many times in the past. Junior Explorer here that is basically acquiring these projects that I guess you can say closeology is the theme, right? They're near either past producing mines or producing mines. And the idea is that, since I'm next door, perhaps your vein will extend into our property. And if they do find something, and that Falcon Gold that is find something on their property, maybe in the future there's going to be a buyout. But we've talked about the CEO basically acquiring these projects when the market is down. So he's acquired projects for good prices, and obviously that will do well when the markets do turn. Recently, their website has been sort of focused now more on their Newfoundland property portfolio, and you can see their portfolio here again, next to either producing mines or past producing mines here. And speaking about Newfoundland, they own now 140,000 hectares of ground in central Newfoundland, and they are now a top 8% for landholders in that province. And there's other stuff as well, a lot of Canadian projects here, but there's a couple here in South America, one in Chile and the Esperanza property in Argentina. And the big news really for the Esperanza project is that there is going to be a spin out. Latamark Resources is going to be a spin-out from Falcon Gold, which is going to hold all the obligations and interest in the Esperanza Gold project, which is located in Argentina. And this is sort of a way to separate their South American assets and their North American assets. And let's just say the stock really did like this news, but we'll talk about that in just a bit.
Fabi, what do you think of the way they have arranged their business and what they might be able to do?
Okay, so I see that they have a lot of different projects. And my natural inclination would be to say, okay, you have a ton of different projects. Maybe what you should do is try to get into JVs with other companies with deeper pockets, and let them drill it out, see what you get. And then you can negotiate that going forward, but you'll always have something happening with your projects. Great news, great for news flow, and it's just good management principle for undercapitalized junior exploration companies, right? So I think there's an opportunity there. However, they are going down the route of when they find something, they spin out the company. At least that's what they have planned to do here. I don't know if it has gone through already or if it's still in the works, but it seems like the market really liked that. It's reflected in the chart. And I don't know if that's good for the industry as a whole to just keep spinning out many, many companies, because I think we already have enough gold junior mining companies. However, it's good for shareholders. And that's what you should care about. You should care about what is the management company going to do for you. Therefore, I think that to me is a vote of confidence of, hey, these guys are looking out for me, and they're likely to keep that as a theme. Although I would like to see JVs. That's just something personal that I think it's a good model, and it attracts a certain level of investor that you probably want on your side as well. There is one thing out of all the projects that I've looked at, there is one thing about their Central Canada project that I found really interesting. It says here that every hole successfully intersected a highly altered, and then it starts to get into geospeak, right? Felsic porphyry rock unit with significant pyrite, arsenopyrite, which I could never spell if left to my own devices. Lead telluride, whatever that is, and visible gold mineralization. That's what matters to us, right? We're looking for gold. And if they hit gold on every hole, to me, that is a very good indication that whatever the grade is, and that's obviously an important bit, there is gold where they're digging and they're likely to find more of it. And that's likely to become another spin out opportunity. So yeah, it's quite interesting. It's very different to what I usually look at, but it's nothing to sneer at for sure.
Mm-hmm. They're all over the place. Galen has heard from, spoken with, conversed with Kareem Riani many times, as he's been a guest over the course of the many, many months, including a couple of months ago. What is your thoughts on the latest?
Well, it isn't the classical model, as it were. Typically, as Fabi and I are both familiar with, and Vishal, of course, these companies go in, they select a few properties, keep a couple in the back pocket, and then they have one they really focus on, hoping to take it to production or at least a buyout situation, and that's where they focus. And as Fabi mentioned, that attracts a different type of investor. There's probably a lot more institutional interest, I suppose, at that point in time because they want to see the wheels turn. But what they're doing doesn't make it any less valid. It's just a different model and one that I'm not necessarily attuned with. Doesn't mean it won't pay off investors to jump in and then wake up the next morning and realize that they have shares in yet another company. Now, they have 14 other projects. And so if you look at it on top of the Canadian or Central Canada gold mine, if you look at it as a traditional investor, you're going to go, what the hell? Their focus is shot. They're all over the place. Like, what are they going to do? Like, what the hell, right? But if their main focus is just to find a little bit, spin it out, get it going on a different level, then they're building shareholder value that way. So I think with this story, the main thing to consider with Falcon itself is one, the spin out possibilities, and two, just what is, because I think they're focused on the Central Canada mine. That's something that they're actually actively pursuing. So what's going to happen there and what else is going to drop by the wayside and show you shares in a new company? Kareem Rayani is a tremendous individual for getting out there and finding property at dirt cheap prices that could actually produce some prospective results. So, in that regard, the model that he's attuned to is, I think, good for what he does. Right? And I think he's in a good position to carry out the business that he's carrying out. So anybody that's looking to sort of watch their investment growth, not necessarily through the building of one particular mine, although that is what is happening in the Central Canada Gold Mine project, but are going, wow, I could have another company with shares in it. I got another company with shares in it, and through the law of numbers, I'm going to hit with something. Do you know what I mean? So right. That's where it sits. Yeah, that's my disjointed discourse on Falcon Gold.
Well, it fits them because of the way they operate. But FG on the venture exchange, we did see a little positive blip, as you guys have mentioned, and a ranging chart, which is interesting. They're hanging around.
Yeah, yep, for sure, Rob. If you scroll it out, we are basically contained within this range, 12 cents to the upside here. I would say 7.5 cents, but technically, we could say 6 cents here because the price did actually react around 6 cents earlier this year. And then, if you zoom in on that daily chart, you see a lot of ups and downs, right? Where we're just selling off at 12 cents, bouncing off at 6 cents, making a bit of a pop, and then I like to say, 7.5 cents again is a pretty decent support level, although we did break below that. Just recently, however, we have broken above, I would say this is a bit of a flag pattern, maybe not the cleanest, but, when you talk about technicals, you don't always get something that looks textbook. And we had quite a nice pop from that breakout, that technical breakout. And actually, it was backed by some news. You can see here on the 2nd of August, the stock was up 17%. closed up 17%. It had quite the rally, as you can see, with the open at 9.5 cents and the highs hitting 14.5 cents in that single day. And it was, of course, because of, not just the spin out news, but all this other corporate update that that Falcon Gold gave in the press release. So going forward, as a technical guy, I would say 7.5 to 8 cents is still the major support level that you want to be watching. But if you want to see further momentum taking this stock higher and higher, I think you still have to be focusing on that 12-cent level, which is a level that we've talked about in previous investor roundtables and articles about Falcon Gold, which still has not broken out. We were close to get a pretty strong breakout, but it just hasn't happened just yet. So perhaps that could be, coming sometime soon, but it really does depend on, I think, what's going to happen with the gold markets and that US dollar in upcoming days and weeks, given that they're all waiting for the Federal Reserve and central bank decisions here. But yeah, 12 cents still the level that I think is really important if you are overall bull on this company and you really want to see that level taken out before, so then we get some sustained momentum higher.
Ladies first in this case, Fabi, you get to go on the $7,500 hypothetical I would say wager. It kind of works out to be a wager.
Yeah. I think I would throw 1,500 in and wait for more drilling results.
Okay. Galen?
I agree again with Fabi on that. She is an expert after all.
I'm an expert in spending fake money. Yes.
That's better than me. I for her reasoning as well, is that I would like to see a little more action happen with the Canadian or the Central Canada Gold Mine, and potential in terms of what other spin-out opportunities there might be. So dropping 15 in now won't hurt, but it'll put my toe in the pond. And as I watch things progress, I'll probably throw more in because he's got a fairly good reputation for bringing shit in and getting it out the door. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Watch out for the snapping turtles in that pond. Rochelle?
I'm going to be putting $1,000 in Falcon Gold. And actually, technically, putting $1,000 in or whatever amount in, you could be a shareholder of two companies because it does look like that the spinoff is estimated for early September 2022. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put $1,000 in here. I do like this flag breakout here. And of course, I'll be waiting to see that 12-cent level be taken out where I will decide if I want to add some more to my position.
What happens to your actual interest for people that are curious, like myself? If you put $1,000 in and they spin off, what goes where in terms of your money? Do you know?
Well, doesn't it depend on the spin-out deal?
It does, yeah.
It varies from
shareholders of Falcon will be entitled to receive one common share in Latimark for 5.8 shares held in the company as of the effective date of the arrangement. So
there you go.
Yeah. For every 5.8 shares you hold, you get one share of Latimark.
Okay, we're putting $4,000 in total on Falcon Gold at this very moment and waiting to see what else occurs with these guys. It's always fun to check out what Kareem Irani's doing. FG on the Venture Exchange out of Vancouver. We cannot guarantee any results from what we've told you. Please do your own research and homework. We hope we've been able to help you out. Past performance does not guarantee future results, whether it's a day ago, a month ago, or a year ago. But check it out. Keep an eye on it. And we look forward to speaking with you again on the very, very next Equity Guru Investor Roundtable.